Music making to me is the best thing in the world. I love it. I really enjoy the vibe, what it does. And not only that, it's a cool way to communicate to people, even if you don't speak the language. That cadence that you're in when you're dancing and grooving, you see somebody bobbing and dancing to the same groove is absolutely amazing. But to get there, you need to have a solid groove on your productions. So the first thing to do when you make music is to improve your groove. Now, I think it can be done by using offbeat drums. Now that's today's video. Are you ready for that? Let's go and do it right now. What's up, I'm Little Kitchen, and thank you for checking out yet another video. Now if this is your first time here, don't hesitate to click subscribe and hit that notification bell. Whenever I upload a new video, you'll be kept in the loop and you'll not miss out on anything. Stick around till the end of this video. I will tell you all about Discord and Patreon, and I will tell you all about the dance carousel. That's a new thing. You want to find out what it is? Stay tuned. So, offbeat drums, is that what you said in the beginning? Yes, that's what I said. The onbeat, very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. The offbeat, in between the onbeats, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the downbeat, as it's called, because the beat's going down, the conductor is going down on the first one. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the upbeat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Kick drum on the downbeat, hat on the upbeat, on the afterbeat. Right, let's talk about disco loops, yeah? If it's a disco loop, it's a 4 on the floor beat. Very simple. Beat, downbeat, hats on the upbeat, snare on the backbeat, that's a 2 and a 4. 1 and 3 and 4, that's where the backbeat is. So there's a few things that can be done. A few examples. Dua Lipa, Break My Heart. Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Blondie, Heart of Glass. Justin Timberlake, Can't Stop the Feeling. Offbeats can prolong the groove because they're also a great tool to use for call and response. Did a video on it a few weeks ago. Call and response when you count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 within a 4-beat loop. The 1 and the 2 is the question part, and the 3 and the 4 is the answer part. Everything you place in between as a cadence will have that seesaw call and response kind of vibe, and that's how you create an infinite loop. Now on those examples that I just told you, Heart of Glass and Can't Stop the Feeling, they have that disco, drop kind of beat, but they're not using the open hat on the upbeats. So that in itself gives another cadence to the groove as well. So that's a trick that you might use as well. Do you always need to have an open hat, or can you just like put 16ths over the top in order just to speed the beat up? Do you need a clap on the 2 and the 4, a snare on the 2 and the 4? It doesn't have to be. If you don't use it, you don't chop up your beat in half and it just goes forward. And offbeats is anything to do with hitting the downbeat, anything to do with the 1, 2, 3, 4. I will show you on my live set on how I will only use a downbeat for my kick drum, and anything else that I'm going to play is going to be offbeat. It's going to be off the grid. Now, most times in regular music, the groove comes from the bass player. He or she has an intricate relationship with the drummer because both of them use the same sort of vibe to get in the groove. That's what people are dancing to, but the bass player lays down a groove. Now, on-beat and off-beat bass lines, there are a few examples, but there's one example that comes to mind right now about an on and offline bass line, off-beat bass line that is using the same thing. Queen, Another One Bites the Dust. The first part is on the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, pow! There you have it. Last note is on an offbeat. And why? Because it invokes curiosity and you want to hear it again. Doom, 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 bam! Hey, doom, doom. Crazy. And everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. So that's a very good example of an on-offbeat combination. Can you use it in your sound? Of course you can. try it out and see if it works for you. Now in dance music, also that call and response kind of vibe can be done by either an on or an off-beat bass line, but you spread them out over multiple synthesizers. So one bass line, different boxes, chop up certain loops, certain notes are being played by one synthesizer, other notes are being played by another synthesizer. You'll get that kind of cadence again. And again, it can evoke an on-off beat situation because the different frequencies, they arrive at your ear at different times or in a different sense. So it will also give a little bit of a pulsating, breathing thing. So that's a trick to use if you want to use on-beat bass line, but you don't want it to feel as an on-beat bass line. You know what I'm saying? Now, why is it all important? Well, drummers, even if they're the tightest drummer in the world, still have that human feel, meaning they're never going to be 100,000% straight on the beat. Drum computers, however, have a problem. They will be very predictable. Whatever you tell them to do, they'll do it. If you got a great one, you turn it on and it will never stop until maybe there's a power outage or whatever, but they'll stay on the beat. So to have something come back at a not so obvious measure in the groove is going to prolong the listener's attention, which is absolutely amazing. Another thing to take into consideration if you don't want to program it or you're not as good at just tapping your drums in, might be to use polymeters and polyrhythms. Obviously, that is, well, you can say counter rhythms within a 4-bar groove. So with triplets or that kind of vibe, it means you've got 3 beats within a 4-beat structure, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it just goes and goes and goes. And that's how you can also create an offbeat groove. If you want to just like be in control of what it is that you're doing, you know, if you're not using a 3-3 for instance, yeah, then obviously it might be a cool thing to just like follow along what I'm doing and see if it works for you. Yeah. Now, without further ado, let's go over to the live set and let's see if we can improve your groove. The on-beat obviously is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. The off-beat is going to be anything that's not on the on-beat. That's what the off-beat is. So playing the drums, just a kick drum here, 909 kick drum. This comes in a little bit hot, I think. Let's turn it down a little bit, you know, turn up the volume slightly. So you see it blinking on the desk. Blinking is good. Illuminated, not so great. Now what we're going to do is quickly go over what's on the desk here. From my right to the left, we got the Minilab 3 by Arturia, which is interesting because this thing is MIDI mapped to this little device sitting right here. No, it's not a calculator. It is the DFAM RK008. This is my MIDI sequencer. So this records notes in, which we are going to see in a second. Then it's MIDI mapped to this Minilab Arturia little keyboard right here. So these 8 buttons here are also the 8 mutes for the 8 channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So no kick. And there's my kick again, and so on and so forth. So the kick obviously coming from the 909 drum computer sitting right here. This time not using the internal sequencer, no, we are using the MIDI, so this is all connected. Then next to this, we've got the black box taking care of loops most of the time, not so much for this video, maybe, we'll see what happens. The Acid Box 3 sitting right here, which is an extra filter I can use on the OB6 sitting right here. The OB6 where I'm using a pad on track 8. As you can hear. And so, FEM filter, ladder filter. So that's 2 different things. So this is a Polyvox synth filter, reissued by Erica Synths, amazing filter, and stereo. Cool. Moving on, the Moog Minitaur sitting right here on track 6. I think it's on 6. Is it on 6? Track 6. Where is? Yeah, I was gonna say. Listen to that rich low end. Amazing. And then on track 7, subsequent 37, there's a DFAM sitting right here that gets triggered by the rim shot of the 99 drum computer as well. Then there's a small machine sitting right here, which is the MIDI fighter, which is connected to the black box. There's some pedals over on the far side with the Falco KGB distortion. Absolute amazing, nothing to do with Russia, but KGB standing for keyboard, guitar and bass distortion. It's absolutely that cool. Strymon Black Sky sitting right here, connected to the subsequent, and then the Boss DD500, which is connected through the DFAM, and that the DFAM actually works. Let's go over to see if we can get this thing engaged. There you go. Currently on white noise, but as you can hear, DFAM business, analog stuff. So connected to the DD500 right here. Okay, and then there's a small DD7 connected also to this thing. Now that's what's happening. Now, off beats. If you're looking at a disco beat like I explained in the intro, obviously going for drums is very simple. So the kick would be the regular steady beat. The off beats are the hi-hats. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, and the in-betweens are the off beats or the after beats, and then the back beat is the clap here on the 2 and the 4. 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. You see, so why is it so cool to just like use after beats for your drums? Let's go for that hi-hat first, right? Let's do that. There you go. Going to record it in. This thing is quantizing everything directly, so that's cool. I can still shape the sound somewhat here. So for instance, taking this out of record. The fact that this thing is taking MIDI from the 909 does not mean that it's recording these kinds of things. It's not that kind of a modern machine, but then again, if you don't want that, that's why you ideally wouldn't want to choose for this. Okay, so I'm going to stick everything on regular measures first, with one afterbeat being the hi-hat. Track 3 is going to be my clap. Now, 1, 3, 1, 3, or 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Instantly going for an afterbeat to make my beat interesting. I can place my clap on an afterbeat, but this is going to make a little bit more sense if I'm playing a bass line first. Now let's go for this bad boy over here. This bad boy over here. Let's check out that I've got my correct yeah, get this bass boy and bad boy going, which is this. Was on the wrong channel right here. Now, as I said in the intro, on and off beats can work together. This is the on beat, this is an off beat, and for me to really make it simple and simplify stuff for you, I literally avoid the first measure of the beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. To me, the 1 does not exist if I'm playing anything. I can play like 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I'm trying to avoid the first of the beat. So my after beats are not so much inverted into the 16 steps. It's going to span out over the whole sort of like bar, because I can like, which would be the double tempo of what I've just played, but I'll play like something like this. Record it. Instantly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now I'm going in for a whole step. I could even go in faster, but still avoid the first of the measure, which is stepping into 8th and 16th note territory. Let's try it out. We're going to erase our beat. So we're going to go in and say erase. That's how we're going to do it. Erase the whole track. No, probably just this note. So it says now erase note 36, and there it's gone. So instead of the 1, 2, 1, 2, I'm going in on the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Let's do that and speed up the groove like 2, 3, and Yep, it's picking up pace. Now that I've got my bass line sitting there on an offbeat groove, let's instantly just shorten the nose a little bit. Not too short. Playing around with the envelope generation amounts. Not so much a sound design video today, so I'm not going to stray into that. Let's go back to that clap that I told you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's instead of 1, 2, 3, which is clearly chopping my groove in half. Is it picking up speed? No, the bass line was picking up speed because it's giving you that faster feeling. So instead of emphasizing where the 2 and the 4 are, let's just stray from that bracket, shall we? And go in like And if you paid attention, you will also hear that there is a call and response thing happening between the Minitaur and the clap right here. It's like okay, enough talking, let's record that in. 1, 2, 3, and cool. Now that we've got a thing going, pretty much everything apart from our kick drum is sitting on an afterbeat, so you can instantly feel like, okay, yeah, that's going. And to make sense of it all, to not go like, okay, but now I'm losing my bearing, a good thing to do is also to think on, you know what, let's see if we could get an accent going, which we are going to stick on the on-beat. And for that, I am going to maybe use the DFAM. I'm going to use the DFAM for that. What I'm going to play, no one knows, but let's find out. Let's see where we are. Let's put my white noise back on. And let's turn this a little bit down, which is the delay. Now, because I'm using white noise on this bad boy, I'm going to stick it on the 1. Not every time, not like 1, 2, but on the 1. Only on the 1, not on the 3, but on the 1. Record it in like. Here we go. And I can play around with the velocities. Let's try and do that. You know what? I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to stick it on every beat, but just program it differently. So. Now it's playing all the time. Let's listen. Da 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 da. Let's make it a little bit shorter. Now I'm going to play around with the offbeat note. So the first, stop it and advance it forward so that when it starts, now it starts on the beat. 2, 3, and bam. Okay. Again, taking out the first one to get an offbeat on the second. There. Ba, 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 ba. Again, another offbeat. Shorter. See how this clap is now emphasizing that. Cool. Now that I've got that going as a groove, I'm thinking, okay, what else can I add to just spice up my offbeat groove, right? Okay. I'm liking this. Let's play around with the take this out of record and play around with the delay here. My BPM is not correct. I'm going to stick it on 130. Is where I am. Tempo. Yes, I'm on 130. So yes, 130, which means this is going to go on 130, and I'm going to go for triplets on my measure. I'm like loving that. That little bit of that dub techno vibe. I think my clap is a little bit on the soft side. Let's turn it up. Let's instantly start picking a fight with the neighbors and go for a louder kick drum with the Velcro here. Cool. Offbeats coming from my friend over here. Shorter notes and going. Woo! 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, let's do that. Pick up a little bit of noise here. Yeah, nice. Again, another pattern that's on the afterbeat. Let's tone down the reverb a little bit. Cool. Cool. I'm thinking drums, maybe. I can do it with another drum. So what am I going to do? Maybe a ride cymbal. A ride cymbal might work. This is on the on-beat one. In, and, bam, bam, Nice. Cool. Now we got everything sitting on offbeat again. I've detuned the oscillators from each other so it gets a little bit more dramatic, as you can hear, on the subsolo 37. And then it's playing around with the nice. Let's aggressify this Minitaur bass here to make sure that we're doing this thing peak time, right? We don't want to warm up the night. We want to just like peak time it out. Longer notes on the bass. Yeah, sure. There you go. So you play around with that. Since everything is not starting on the 1, 1, 1, everything is starting on the afterbeat. Now, let's add some music to it. Right up. Since everything is on my tracks, I can now play around with my composition. Yeah, nice. Liking that. Okay, so what was the one thing we didn't use yet? Yes, the OB6, the almighty OB6, sitting on track number 8 here. Maybe try a different pattern. Okay, I was recording, I was overdubbing stuff. Let's try this out and go like bow, 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 bow. So again, something like similar fashion as maybe Another One Bite the Dust by Queen, where the first bass is on the upbeat and the last of the bass line is on an upbeat. Bum, 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 da-dum, dum, dum, da, and then that's the last one. I'm playing my first note on 1 and then off, off, back to on, off, off, back to on. Okay, cool. Spacing out the length of my groove here. Taking out a record, taking out a kick, opening up this filter. Putting up a little bit of resonance on this filter now. And emphasizing a little bit of my groove again. Simple concept, but it works all the time. Okay, taking everything out. Let's try a quick, crazy thing. Putting on full resonance here. Do you hear how a SEM filter is a little bit more smooth and, well, neat, pristine? And how this filter come on. Yeah, I'm liking that. So what if we were to go in smoothly? If this plays, nobody knows what's happening, right? Play a kick here. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm from Rotterdam, so that kick needs to be sounding a little bit Rotterdam-ish, shouldn't it? That's turning up a little bit without me screwing everything up. Self-oscillating filters is always welcome. Bass line. Please comment on my crackling now, please. Let's turn this up a little bit, level. Woo, liking that. W up here. Nice. Yep, liking that. Love the long delay here. Make a little bit of a drop. Come on, man, how's this groove not working for you? Woo! Kick in. Snare from here. Which I'm going to record on my clap. Maybe stick it here. Yep, stick it in and go like bam, 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 bam. And now taking out all the on beats, right? So deliberately played everything on the one. One, one, one. Let's take this out. Going like out and say erase. That note, pick it out. So this is the same pattern, only taking out the on beat. So now you're left with the off beat. 1, 2, 3, and. Wow, wow. I'm dancing, by the way. You should do too. All right, that's how it goes. Let's go and do it. Woo-hoo! Interesting stuff in it. I think it's very interesting to see how this thing can metabolize. Let me know in the comment section below how you use your drums and how you improve your groove. With that said, okay, it's Patreon time. I would like to say welcome to Connor Calvert. I'd like to say welcome to Kostya Shea and to Eric Albinson as new patrons for this week, and they follow everything on patreon.com/AnalogKitchen, where the community congregates, while we talk rhythms, groove, improving yourself, where there's videos after party after this video premiere, where we talk to each other, where we just like, you know, embrace the fact that we love our synthesizers, and where we make music together. And how does that work? There is something that I've invented called the dance carousel. Can you imagine? Something like a joint venture of multiple musicians. Now, it's very hard to get people to make music together in one room. I mean, why would boy bands like the Jackson 5 and the Beatles and whatever eventually they got split up? Well, there's a way in order to work with people all over the world within your own sort of like studio. So what I've come up with is you have this segment that is you and yours alone of 8 bars, right? You create drums, you create a top line over the top. But the beats is the only thing you're going to pass on to the next producer, which has to use your beats for the first 4 bars of his or her track and plays their sort of like synth, whatever, over the top, switch to their beats and passes their beat on to the next producer. You see how it now goes. We've done it last year, and we had like 12 producers ready. It went all over the world, and it just skipped styles. The only thing I'm saying is there's a fixed BPM and a fixed key in which we do things. That was absolutely amazing. So you stick to the BPM. So when we edit everything together, you'll just see it jump from left to right. And we've got 18 producers engaged so far. This is the thing we do on Patreon or on Discord. So do join. It's absolutely cool. It's a way to get yourself out there, and it's a way to really like make music with peers, with like-minded folks. Do check it out. patreon.com/NRHU. Now, if you are still watching this, sir or ma'am, you are an absolute superstar. I like it. Thank you for watching. Next week there's going to be another video. Keep watching this. Stay something.